Hello, scientists! It's so good to see you again. Welcome back to Room 9, our region's largest classroom. My name is Mrs. Stobbs, and I teach kindergarten in the Maplewood-Richmond Heights School District right here in St. Louis. And today, I'll be teaching another science lesson for kindergartners and for preschoolers. But of course, learners of all ages are welcome to join me. So let's get started. I'm so glad you're here today. All right, now my friends, over the last few weeks, we've been learning all about engineers. We've been learning about what they do and how they solve problems by designing and building things. Do you remember? And we learned about the engineering design cycle. The engineering design cycle is what scientists do, what engineers do to solve problems. So do you want to act this out with me again? I hope you do. All right, so remember, the first thing that engineers do in the engineering design cycle is they spot a problem. Remember, they say, I see a problem and I want to solve it. Can you say that again? I see a problem and I want to solve it. After they've identified their problem, then they research and brainstorm. And remember, this is kind of like what scientists do whenever they learn all they can. They might read a book, they might observe, they might talk to experts. So let's research. And then they write down their ideas. Research, write down ideas, because brainstorm means that you just get out all of your ideas. After they do that, then they choose their very best idea. So can you choose your best idea? Choose it. Yep, good job. After that, after they've chosen their best idea, they start to build. Can you pretend to build? Hammer and screw things in. Use glue. Glub, 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 glub. After that, they test what they've built. So maybe for ours, because remember, we're working on pushes and pulls, they might push it and watch what happens. Push and watch. And remember, this is the part that gets kind of tricky because sometimes after they test what they've built, they have to go back and fix things. So they build, then they test, then they build, and then they test, then they build and they test and they build and they test until they have their very best idea. After they have their very best idea, here's that microphone. They share with the world what they've built. Good job. Awesome. After they do that, then sometimes someone might say, I like that idea, but have you thought of this? And then they might have to redesign. And redesign means they rewind and they go back here. Good job. So engineers do all of those things. And after they've come up with a great problem, then they find another problem to solve, and it just keeps on going and going and going. Awesome. Now, my friends, over the last few weeks, we've been working on a problem, and it's been a silly problem. Do you remember? I want to find a way to move my sweet little Oliver stuffed animal from place to place. I want to build something that I can either push or pull using my hands to move him around so I can take him on a little walk. And last week, we learned all about different pushes and pulls. And today, we're actually going to start building. So maybe you might want to find some special tools and some special objects that you can use to build something that will move maybe one of your stuffed animals around. Now, before we start building though, I want to read a book to you. I have another informational book about engineers. And this book is called Engineers Build Models, because that's one thing that they do. They build models. And this book is by Reagan Miller, and the publishing company is Crabtree Publishing Company, and they gave me permission to read this book to you. Engineers Build Models. And look, there's that table of contents that tells us what's in our book. All right, let's read. Who designs our world? Have you ever looked up at a skyscraper? A skyscraper is a really tall building. Have you ever seen one of those? You can look up in the sky. Have you ever looked up at a skyscraper or down at your running shoes and wondered how these things were made? They were first created by engineers. Engineers are the people who design many of the things in our world. To design means to make a plan to do or build something that solves a problem. Engineers design technologies. The things engineers design are called technologies. A technology is anything people make that solves a problem or meets a need. For example, a car is a technology that meets people's need to get from place to place quickly. Technology is all around us. An umbrella is a type of technology because it solves the problem of getting wet when it's raining outside. And you might think technology is just things like computers or phones, but it's really anything that people have designed and built that makes our lives better. So even a pencil is a technology. Technologies take time. Engineers have important jobs. They use math, science, and creative thinking to design technologies. Long before people use a technology, such as a bridge, so even a bridge is a technology, engineers have spent a lot of time designing it to make sure it works well and is safe. Working together. Engineers often work together in groups to design technologies. Working in groups lets engineers share different ideas. Engineers communicate. Oh, we talked about that. They communicate their ideas to the people they work with and other people outside of the group. To communicate means to write, speak, or draw to share information. What is a model? One way engineers communicate their ideas to others is by making models. A model is a representation of a real object. A model can show how different parts of an object work together. A model can also show you how something looks. This boy made a model of an airplane. The model helps him learn how the parts of an airplane work together. So a model is like a small version of something bigger so that you can see how it works. So maybe you have a model car at home, or maybe a dollhouse could be a model of a house. It's not the real thing, but it's like the real thing. Map models. This map is a model of a garden. It gives us information about where different fruits and vegetables are planted. The map is a model because it helps us understand more about how the real garden looks. And maybe you could draw a model of your house to show what your house looks like. Alike but different. Models are not exactly like the things they represent. For example, some models may not have all of the same parts or features as the real thing. A toy car is a model of a real car. It has 4 tires and can move forward and backward, but it is much smaller and cannot move as fast as a real car. It says, could you get a ride to school in a toy car? No. And today we'll be making kind of like a model of a car together. Different parts. Models can be used to show things that are very large and have different parts, such as a wind turbine. Building a real wind turbine would take a lot of time and cost a lot of money. A model turbine takes less time to build and shows how the different parts fit and work together. And the blades on this boy's model of a wind turbine spin like the blades of a real turbine. So it's easier a lot of time to build a model than it is to build the real thing. Diagrams and blueprints. Oh, this looks like a complicated page. Let's read it carefully. Some models are drawn on paper or made using a computer. A diagram is a drawing that shows the parts of an object and how it works. A diagram has labels. Labels are words that name or describe the different parts and help others understand the model better. So here's a diagram of a backpack. The labels give information about its special features. It says glow-in-the-dark material, it has padded straps, and hidden speakers. That's a fancy backpack. A blueprint is another kind of model that engineers use to show their design ideas to others. Blueprints are drawings that show the different parts of a building. For example, a blueprint for a school shows where the classrooms will be built. Engineers can draw blueprints on paper or using a computer. And here's a picture of a blueprint. Have you ever seen something like that? Maybe your parents build diagrams or blueprints. Maybe they draw them. You can ask them about that. Different forms. Models have different forms. For example, a map of the world and a globe are both models of Earth. Maps are flat or two-dimensional models. They show length and width. A globe is a solid object. It is three-dimensional. So we can have a flat paper map to show what the world looks like, but we can also have a globe, and that really looks more like what the world looks like. 3D models. Three-dimensional models have length, width, and height. So they are long, they're wide, and they are tall. You can hold a three-dimensional model and look at it from above, below, and all sides. These kinds of models are also called 3D models. A diorama is a kind of 3D model. This is a diorama of a model of a house. So like a toy car, a model of a car or a model of a house would be 3D. But if you just drew a picture of it, that would not be 3D. That would be 2D. Engineers also build models to test their design ideas. Testing models, oh, we talked about testing here. Testing models helps engineers know if their ideas will work and are safe. They can also find out what changes they need to make to the model to make it better. And these students have made model cars. They are testing them to see which one will run the farthest using power from the sun. Earthquake! Earthquakes cause the ground to shake. They happen in many areas of the world. Engineers try to design houses that will receive the least amount of damage from shaking. Models of houses are tested on special tables called shake tables to see which designs work best. So this engineer built this house from different materials and he put it on a shake table that's going to make it shake, 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 like an earthquake. And then he's going to see how it works. And if it works well, then they'll actually build a real house out of that material. Engineers plan. Before making a model, engineers first make a plan. A good plan is important because it helps the engineers figure out how to make their model. Materials are an important part when planning a model. Materials are what objects are made of. Different materials have different properties. Properties describe how something looks, feels, or acts. And then they talk about, I'm not going to read this page, but they talk about if you wanted to build a kite, you'd have to think about what sort of materials work best. And we're going to have to think about that as we build today. And that is the last page. So engineers build models. So my friends, are you ready to build a model with me today? A model of something that will move Oliver from place to place. So we're going to work together and we're right here. First of all though, we need to think of a good idea. We're going to draw a picture of it first and then we're going to start building. And it might take a little bit of time. Remember what I said, engineers have to persevere. And persevere means that you keep working even when things get tough. So if you build with me today or you build later on this week, it might get frustrating as you build because things might not work the way that you planned them to. But you just have to keep on trying and try your best, and eventually you'll find a solution that works. All right, so my friends, let's get started. First of all, we're going to draw a model and then we're going to start building. Before we start to build, I want to draw out a plan of what I think I want my little car to look like to move Oliver around from place to place. So I'm going to draw it on my whiteboard. And if you have a piece of paper and a pencil, you can draw it with me. So I think I want to have a place for Oliver to sit. Okay, and I'm even going to draw Oliver sitting in here. Okay, there's Oliver sitting in here. And then what do I want to help make it move? What do we say is so important? We need wheels. So I need a wheel over here, a wheel here, and then I also know that there will be wheels on the back too. Okay, I can't see it on here, but maybe if I draw the front, maybe this will be the front, and I'll show I want a wheel on this side and a wheel on this side. Now I also know I need something to hold the wheels together. So on this part that's showing the front of the car, I'm going to draw that. Remember we talked about axles? Axles are the part that connect the wheels together that still let the wheels move. And we will have to play with that as we start to build because sometimes that part gets tricky. Okay, so I have this model. I have the front. This is the front. I might even put an F right here to say this is the front and this is the side of my car. Okay, now I have the wheels, I have a box, and I think I want to be able to pull Oliver behind me. So I want a handle, and I might even think about maybe making a string to hold on to. So there's my model. So I know I need to get a box, I need wheels, something to make wheels, I need something for an axle, and I need something for a handle. All right, so let's get started building to see if we can make this with real objects. All right, my friends, now that we have our model, our drawing done, our diagram done, we can start building. So my friends, the first thing that I saw for little Oliver is a place to sit. So I was looking around my house and I looked for different boxes and I found a cereal box, and I just cut off the front of a cereal box. And I thought that might be a good spot for Oliver to be in. He fits, right? And he can look out the side. There he is. So that's a great box for him. So that was easy. Now comes the more complicated part though. We have to find wheels. Oh, wheels are kind of tricky to make work. Now, if you have some toy wheels at your house, like from a car, maybe a model car set, or from Legos, you can definitely use those. I have some little wooden wheels right here that I could use, but I wanted to challenge myself and I wanted to see if I could make wheels out of other things from around my house. So if I can't make anything else work, I know I can come back to this, but I also want to see if there's something else I can use. So the first thing I thought might work is Play-Doh and just make a ball, because balls are round just like wheels are, right? I need to make this one maybe a little bit rounder. And what if I just do this? What if I just stick the wheel right onto the box? Is that going to work? Is that going to roll? Let me see. No, this one's actually stuck because the Play-Doh is getting stuck. So that doesn't work. So what do I need to make my wheels move, be able to move? Ooh, do you remember what we drew right here? This line? It's called an axle. An axle is a rod that connects two wheels that then you can connect to your axle to your car. So there are lots of different things that can be axles. The thing I'm going to use today is a little wooden dowel, which is a tiny little stick. It's very thin and it's wooden. Do you see? A little wooden stick. But if you don't have these at home, you could go outside and get a stick from your yard as long as it's nice and smooth and thin and straight too. It needs to be straight for sure. Or you could even use something like a pencil or a pen or a paintbrush or even a pipe cleaner. A pipe cleaner makes a pretty good axle. So I'm going to stick these wheels on either side. Okay, so here's the wheels and the axle. Now I'm going to see if it works. Well, it works okay. It's kind of lumpy. I might need to make it a little bit smoother. But that could work. Let me put it on the box. Let me move the box around. And I would definitely tape it. I will tape it whenever it's time. So this could work if I attached the wheels there. But you know what? I'm thinking, does Play-Doh stay nice and soft for a long time? No, especially if it's not in its can. It dries out. And also if I wanted to take Oliver outside in this, if it's a wet day, today it's actually raining outside, if it was a wet day, this would get really dirty and probably fall apart. So Play-Doh might not be the best option. It still could work, and if you want to do it on your car, totally fine. But I think I might keep on looking for some other options. Okay, something else I thought of that you might have at home is pasta. Look, this pasta has a hole in the middle. This is penne pasta. It has a hole in the middle that maybe we could stick the wheel in, or the axle in. Let me see. It fits. And if I roll it, oh wait, it's not really rolling that well. I wonder if it has to do with the shape of the pasta, because it's kind of pointy on one end. And it also isn't much taller than the stick itself. So that's not really working. But maybe if you have a different type of pasta at home that's a little bit bigger, you could try it and see if it works. All right, I have something else, a toilet paper tube that I've cut up. Let's see if that will work. So I need to tape my axle to it. So I have a little bit of tape here. And I'm going to see if this will work. So I'm going to just tape the axle right inside. And I'll just try one to start with. Let's see if I can make it roll. I'm pushing it and it's sliding more than rolling. Now if I start it up here with the stick on the top and I push it, it does roll. But whenever it's down at the bottom, it doesn't want to go ahead and make that loop back over. So I don't think that's the best option. Okay, so that doesn't really work either. I'm going to put that over here with the pasta so I know that doesn't work. Okay, I have something else here. These are lids. Let me show you. Lids to a little paint cup set that I have. And I thought this might work, but oh, wait. I can't get it to stick in, and if I glued it, there just wouldn't really be a great way for me to stick it in. So, oh, I have an idea. What if I take the Play-Doh and I put it in the hole? And what if I stick the hole through there? That works. Let me try it on the other side. Ooh, that's really rolling. I don't know if you can see it, but it rolled. It rolled across the table. All right, let me see. Can I roll it? That worked really well. That worked really well. Now let me see if I can fit it on the box. Oh, wait. Oh, it's kind of knocking. It might not be big enough. Or it might be, I might need a longer axle. So that could work. That could work. But the thing I'm still worried about though, is still that Play-Doh. Play-Doh just doesn't really stay nice for very long. And I'm worried that once the Play-Doh dries out, it won't work anymore. So maybe I can keep this again as an option. I'll put this over here by the Play-Doh as another option. All right, I have something else. I have a lid. This is a lid to a soda bottle. Maybe if you have a lid to a soda bottle or a water bottle, maybe you could try that. Now this is going to be a little bit tricky for me to attach, but I'm going to try my best. So I'm going to use a little bit of tape, and I have to use a lot of tape to get it to stick. Now if your parents have a glue gun at home, that might be a way that you can get yours to stick, and it might stick a little bit better, but hot glue guns are very dangerous, right? So you have to be careful. So I'm going to put a little bit of tape here for it to stick onto, but then I'm also going to use some other tape too. Stick it right here, stick it on. Oops, it's falling over. Stick it on here again. All right, let me see if it rolls. Oh, that rolls really well. I can really make that roll well. Okay, so let me do another one. Let me get another stick, or not another stick, another lid. Okay, so I have this one here. Again, I'm going to put a little bit of tape at the bottom. I roll it up, and then stick it here. Then I'm going to get another piece of tape. And I might have to come back to this later to add more tape. But I'll add as much as I can right now. I might even have to lay it down as I get more tape because I don't want it to break apart. Okay. Okay, let me see. Ooh, that's rolling really well. That's rolling really well. I think this might be a good option. Now I might need to add a little bit more tape to make it even stronger, but I think this might be a good way to make a wheel. Now I'm gonna go ahead and tape it to the box. Tape the axle to the box, and we're going to see what happens, see if it works. Okay. Wait, now it's just sliding. I can't get it to spin. Huh. You know what? It's because I taped this to the box and now it can't move. Oh boy. So I thought the axle would be enough to help me, but it's not. Oh, I have an idea. You know what? I bet if I put this is just a cut up straw, like a plastic straw. If I put this around the axle, so I'd have to take this apart. If I put this around the axle and then taped the straw, let me show you with this one. If I took this axle, I have an extra one here, and I put it inside, and then I taped the axle here, taped the straw. Let's see if the axle will still be able to spin. Can you see it? It's still spinning. So that's what I need to do. All right, let me do that. I'm gonna try that, and then you'll check back with me. All right, my friends. So I have finished taping on my wheel and axle through the straw so that now my wheel and axle can still spin. Can you see that spin? Yeah, it can spin. It looks like it's going to work now. Let's try it out. So I'm going to put it on my table and I'm going to give it a push that way and a push that way. Oh, it's moving back and forth and back and forth. The wheels are spinning as I'm moving it. I can use pushes and pulls to make it work. Now let me put Oliver inside too and see what happens. Okay, I can give it a push. I can give it a push that way. And I can even pull it and it is rolling back and forth. So exciting. All right, well, there's one more thing I need to add. Do you remember? It's on our chart. It's on our design. It's a handle. I want to be able to pull this behind me. So I have some string here and I'm going to tape it right inside my little car for Oliver. So let me put that right there. Get a little bit of tape and tape it right inside. And now let's see if it'll work. All right, let me pull it. It's working, it's rolling. Now, I need to test this though out on the floor. I want to see if I can actually pull it behind me. So let's go test it out. Oh boy, look at it go. It's moving and it's rolling as I pull it. So my friends, look, Oliver is right here too, and he's excited for us. He said, "You built something for the little toy, Oliver." What do you think, Oliver? So my friends, we solved our problem. We designed and built a car to move Oliver around from place to place. We did it. That's so exciting. Now, my friends, maybe our next challenge might be to design a bigger car to move Oliver around from place to place. That would be really exciting, but we'd have some other problems to figure out too because he moves around on his own, right? And we would need to keep him safe. Now, my friends, I hope you have a wonderful week. Keep on building, keep on designing, and keep on thinking like a scientist. Bye.
Teaching in Room 9 is made possible with support of Bank of America, Dana Brown Charitable Trust, Emerson, and viewers like you.